Hi, everyone. My name is Cheri. I'm a local real estate agent here in Michigan. I'm sitting with my homie, Tim.
Hey.
He is a loan officer, one of the best in the industry.
Oh, thank
So
you.
you're
That was a
welcome.
nice compliment there.
You're welcome. So, Tim, what you been up to, man?
I don't know, staying warm. It's been kind of cold. They got this, I don't know, Arctic breeze or something they're calling it, but it's I just know it's cold.
Yeah.
I recently came back from Florida, so I took the family out of town. We were out there for about 22 days, which was really nice. I got a chance to recharge the batteries, reflect, kind of
Okay.
think about the business, family, and things like that. So, what about you? How you been?
Man, I've been blessed. I mean, I really can't complain.
Amen.
Just living every day, taking it one day at a time. That's all we can do,
Yeah, yeah, that's all we can do.
Yeah, so you was on
The
vacation
struggle's
for.
real.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, it's perspective, huh?
Yeah.
What you think. But you was on vacation for 22 days. That's really good.
Yeah, yeah. It gets pricey. So we stayed with my sister in Tampa for a couple of days,
Okay.
but those resort fees are hitting and you got to pay them.
So I assume that you're very successful, with writing loans and closing deals.
I try.
Yeah, yeah.
Try.
So that's impressive, man. And you were with your family. Did you get a 10 while you were out there?
Get what?
A 10.
No, I'm Blackanese. I don't really get a tan like that. It was a few cold days in the 40. They were complaining wearing coats, but I'm like, this is not cold. I'm from Michigan. I'm from the north. I'll show you cold. Come visit me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just really nice. I enjoyed walking around. It's a lot of traffic and just kind of taking it slow. Just needed some time off. Wanted to be away for a little while. So
Yeah.
I thought that was good.
That's good. So I'm sure when you came back, you had a lot of calls. You had to get back to work, right? And I want to switch gears a little bit. So
Yeah.
just wanted to ask you, like, what is the whole buying process?
Yeah, this whole home buying thing. Yeah. So I do help people buy homes, and the home buying process is just kind of walking them through the application, walking them through the necessary documents, the down payment, the credit requirement, that kind of thing. I love what I do, but it's a big purchase, and sometimes it takes a little bit of work, and sometimes people aren't ready, but a lot of people are ready, and I've been really kind of coaching them, helping them through the process.
Yeah, that's true. So our roles in the industry is completely different. So you help with the finances and walking them through the application process from start to finish, right? And then with me being a real estate agent, I help them with the actual real estate part of things. So I help them, find properties. I connect them to reliable resources in order to help them get to the closing table. So can you explain to me a little bit more about the application process and
Yeah, yeah. So the application process is basically we kind of ask you some information to get to know you, like your address history, your work history, um, what you do for a living, some of your goals, your comfortable payment, within your budget. We kind of go over, different programs that you can qualify for. And the ultimate goal is to give you a pre-approval letter. It's just a letter stating your buying power, what you can buy.
Yep.
And then you get back with you and go out and look at some homes, the fun part.
Okay.
So I try to make it easy for clients. I try to make it conversational, get to know them. Like, oh, what do you do for a living? I try not to interrogate them, like, how much you make? Or,
Yeah.
what's the ballpark of your salary? Do you get hourly? I try to make a conversation, get to know them. And the main thing is kind of meeting their goals. Sometimes I can meet their goals, sometimes I can't, depending on if you're looking for a multi-family or you're looking for an investment home, a two-family flat. A lot of people have different goals, but so I want to encourage you that it's out there and you can find it,
Yeah.
with patience and hard work.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And then also with that, in order to feel like you're making a confident decision, also you have to be informed, right? So a lot of times when buyers or investors they start the process, they don't know where to start. And so based off your professional opinion, when should somebody reach out to a loan officer like yourself?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say as soon as possible. As soon as you have the idea, talk to a lender, talk to me because it's vital information. A lot of times you see things online and TikTok, and some of it could be true, sometimes it could not be true, but you might be ready. Some people think they're not ready or
Mhm.
they don't have enough or this
Yep.
ain't right. And there'll be never a perfect time.
Right.
And you'll never really know what you need to work on or if you're ready or what you can afford without talking to a lender. So I would always recommend talk to a lender.
Mhm.
A lot of people are afraid they're going to pull your credit. We don't have to pull your credit.
Right.
We could just have the conversation. I would like to do a soft credit check on you,
Mhm.
just kind of see where you stand. Because what I see is a FICO. What you see sometimes online is like a Vantage or some other credit system, that rating. So talking to a lender will kind of
Mhm.
get an idea where you stand. And hopefully you can pull the trigger sooner than later. So I
Mhm.
always recommend talk to a lender as soon as possible because you're going to learn a lot throughout the process.
Yep.
But that lender goal is to tell you what you need to know so you can accomplish your goals. So I recommend talking. A lot of people want to wait and
Mhm.
pay this off, but as you know, life
Mhm.
stuff keep happening, and
Yes.
if you wait for the perfect time, you may never do
You
it.
may
That
miss
makes sense.
opportunity.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I totally agree with you 100% with being a real estate agent. The the most rewarding transactions I have closed is with clients that say, "I didn't know that I can get pre-approved." Because they
Amen.
sometimes are so scared to have the conversation because they don't want to be rejected, right?
Yeah.
It's hard. And I know from experience because when I first started real estate, when I tried to buy a house, they was like, "Oh, you can't because you just started a new industry." So I think like I totally agree with you what you said. Like starting the application process is vital because you know where you stand. And it sets you up for success, right? And
Yeah.
everybody wants to be successful.
And I want to say what I don't like reject or decline anybody.
Mhm.
Just so you know, we just kind of go over application. I don't approve it or deny it. Um, the person that can deny a loan is an underwriter. You never really speak to an underwriter, and that's way down the process. We're just having a conversation talking about income, assets, and properties
Mhm.
and payments and seeing what works for you. Now I may say that, hey, I think that you're going to need 3% down. And you told me you have X amount, so you might need a little bit more.
Mhm.
But I didn't reject you. I just said you need more money, right?
Mhm.
Or you need to pay this off. I
Mhm.
didn't reject you. I just tell you to pay this off so the credit goes up. So,
Mhm.
and I know the feeling. Like I
Mhm.
literally bought a car a couple months ago. The first time I ever financed a car,
Mhm.
and they, ran my credit 3, 4 times, and one lender told me no, and I'm like, what? I got good credit. What are you telling me no?
Mhm.
But two said yes. So I know the feeling. It was just kind of salty. So you can feel salty, but please don't don't
Mhm.
don't think we're here to reject you or tell
Right.
you no or
Right.
you're a bad person. No, you're a great person. Okay.
Right. I love that. So it's reassuring them like it's not a right now, right? And then you give them the proper steps in the future in order to be able to purchase a home.
Yeah, you won't know those steps without really talking to a lender because you
Right.
may be saying, I'm just saving money. And I'm going to keep saving money, but you may not know that you could use some of that money to pay this down,
Mm.
and that would help you too. Because if you have your down payment now, then you may have not done what you need to do with the credit. Because
Mhm.
I call it baking a cake, like
Mhm.
credit, income,
Mhm.
assets, like baking a cake, a property. Those are the ingredients. So uh, I've talked to clients, and sometimes they focus on just one of the ingredients, like
Right.
their income,
Mhm.
which is great. But then you need the other things like baking a cake, yeah,
Right.
flour, eggs, yeah, things
Right.
like that.
So that's perfect too, because with me being a master negotiator, I can always get you seller's concessions, right, to help towards your down payment. So I want to talk about the other ingredient that you need, and that's totally what type of credit do you need in order to purchase a house?
Yeah, that's a great question. And credit's so confusing, isn't it?
Mhm.
Credit confusing a little bit.
I mean, not for me because I'm in the industry,
Okay,
but for a
I
lot of
I,
people.
I think credit's confusing because first of all, there's like what Xperia, there's TransUnion, there's Equifax. So right there's three different like credit companies, right, or
Uh-huh.
agencies, we like to call them.
Uh-huh.
To me, that's confusing because if you look at one of them, then you would assume that's your credit score without the other two.
Mhm.
And then another thing that your credit card company sends you a credit score. And then if you apply for this, they send you a credit score. So it can be very confusing knowing exactly where you stand.
Mhm.
So, but I would say, generally speaking, you want a 660 credit. You want a 700 credit. On the low end, I mean, 580, 620. But I like to talk about good habits like paying
Mhm.
the bills on time, keeping balances low,
Mhm.
because then you would have good credit. but it's hard to give you a number because there are different programs, there are different lenders, there are
Mhm.
different guidelines. Does that
Mhm.
make sense? If I was to give you a number right now and then your number happened to be low, then I just discourage you, or I just told you that you don't have enough credit. So I just encourage you to talk to a lender and see what their requirement is. Does that
Mhm.
make sense? And maybe another lender.
Right. But also, you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's just not about one credit score, right? It's about the collective, the average of the three, right?
Yeah, yeah. So what lenders do, what we do, I don't really do it manually, but the system does it.
Mhm.
So it doesn't take your highest, it doesn't take your lowest, it takes the middle one.
Mhm.
And that's what the system will pop up. So when
Okay.
we run the credit, you have three of them, and then it just shows you whatever the middle one is. So not the best one,
Mhm.
not the lowest one, the middle one. I think that's fair, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's just one, like, I wanna say ratio of things that
Yeah.
they examine, because oftentimes when I'm working with clients, they have, like, late payments or derogatory remarks that can stop them from actually, getting that official pre-approval letter. Can you
Mhm.
talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah, so some loan programs, they don't want a late payment in the last like 12 months. Some loan programs, it doesn't matter
Mhm.
for you to have a late payment. And then some of them, if collections are over a certain amount, it doesn't like that. A lot of it is automated. So the system kind of reads your credit report,
Mhm.
and then we call it like the findings. I don't want to like talk how sausage is made and bore you to death,
Yeah.
but there's a system that automatically, and it's automatically because it takes bias and racism and
Mhm.
discrimination out. It just looks at the numbers. So it doesn't look
Right.
at your name or your address where
Right.
you live. It just looks at the numbers. But yeah, generally speaking, different programs don't like late payments. But remember too is that lenders don't want to like foreclose on you or don't want you to default. They really want to set you up for success. So if they see a late payment, it could be like a red flag that maybe you might have a hard time making a monthly
Mhm.
payment every month. So look at it as opportunity as I'm gonna make on time payments and do
Mhm.
a good job to show I'm responsible and credit worthiness because you are borrowing thousands of dollars, and the last thing they want to do is take your home. So they
Mhm.
want to make sure that you're in a safe space, you're
Right.
comfortable before they give you the go ahead to have a home. If that does that make sense? I want to be
Yes.
positive about it. So
Yeah, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So what I'm hearing is pretty much like before you try to, get your credit pull and stuff like that, just make sure you're being responsible with how you manage your money,
mhm.
making sure you making your payments on time, and also with credit, like you said, it can be complex if you don't really know about it. So keeping your credit card limits at a certain amount, even though you may be approved for $15,000, you only want to spend like 30% of that, and so that's really, just being a responsible adult. So I appreciate you breaking that down for us. And then so I just want to step into this lane of things because I know we earlier in conversation you said the first ingredient is the down payment because a lot of people like to focus on that, not credit.
Mhm.
So I just want you to specify what type of down payment do people actually need.
Yeah, it's a great question. Yeah. So a down payment, it's basically just having something in the game. They call it skin in the game
Mhm.
to where if the bank is going to give you money to buy a home,
Mhm.
they just want you to put a little bit of your money into it. Does that make sense? So you're paying it. And also when you rent, you do pay a security deposit, sometimes first month or last month rent. So you do
Mhm.
pay something. Um, so minimum first time home buyer, it could be 3% or it could be 3.5%. So that's kind of like the minimum.
So that's a myth. You don't need 20% down to buy a
Correct,
house.
correct, correct.
Okay.
Now the 20% comes from mortgage insurance.
Mhm.
Mortgage insurance covers the mortgage company
Yeah.
if you don't put 20% down. And the mortgage insurance actually is not that high. It
Mhm.
actually goes off of your credit. Again, back to credit. So if your credit's pretty decent, your mortgage insurance is pretty low. And then mortgage insurance does drop off when you do get to 20%.
Mhm.
Just give you an example. If it's $100,000, 20% is like 20 of that. So if you put 3% down, then you're basically at 97%. But when you get to 80, which would
Mhm.
be 20%, I'm getting too number wise. Then it drops off. But yeah, you don't need 20%, right, to buy a
Right.
home.
That's true. So we talked about credit. We talked about the down payment. I think a lot of times with me being a real estate agent, I have to reiterate this to my clients. It's not just about the down payment as well too and just credit. You also have to make sure you have closing costs. So can you explain to the viewers what closing costs is? Because I think they get that confused a lot of times with the down payment.
Yes, that's a really great question because people do focus on their down payment and then they forget the closing costs. So closing costs, and I explain this every day, it's lender costs that goes to the lender. Then it's title. Title just makes sure that the sellers own the property and there's like, they don't owe like other money on it, and they make sure the title's clear, like a car, clear title, clean title, yeah. And then there's like prepaid. Prepaids are basically, it's funny, lenders want every penny of interest. So just a side note, when you buy a home, you don't make a payment till 30 or 60 days, prepaid. So you still pay interest on that.
Yep.
So, and then there's escrow. Escrow is just like your taxes and insurance. So they collect a little bit of taxes and insurance.
Yes.
So all that comes up to closing costs. Even though taxes and insurance is not really a closing cost, because it's your money like for your taxes and insurance, but we all call it closing costs. And then I call it cash to close.
Right.
So I need this money so I can sign my papers and close. So that's a good point.
Yeah, so that means like essentially when you turn in your escrow is pretty much how much is the escrow? Or explain. I don't think people know what escrow is. It's the earnest money deposit. What's escrow really quick?
Yeah, great question. So escrow is money held in an account for like a specific purpose. So earnest money deposit is like a good faith deposit. It means, hey, I'm serious about buying your home, Mr. Seller. I'm going to give you $2,000 or $500 to hold at the title company in escrow. And then if I, fulfill my duty of buying a home, you fulfill your duty of selling a home, that money is subtracted from your down payment and your closing costs.
Right.
So,
and that is also reflected on your closing documents, like at the end of the contract, at the end of the transaction. And so typically what I see when I go over the statements for my buyers, I typically see like closing costs can be anywhere from 4 to 5%, right? Depending on the insurance and taxes. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it can really add up. Depending on the taxes. I did have a client that bought a home. It was currently like an investment home, so like an LLC bought it to flip it. So the taxes were kind of messed up because they had it as like an investment home and not a homestead or a primary home. So initially his taxes were a little higher than what we pulled or what the realtor people estimated it to be. But we did tell him, like, whenever they assess it, like the city or county, they're going to eventually lower it because right now he's paying a little bit higher taxes for the investment property. But yeah, taxes do affect your out-of-pocket expense. Same thing as your homeowner's insurance. When you shop for that affects your out-of-pocket too.
Right. Yeah, that's a really great point. So what would you tell a client that don't have enough money in order to be able to close?
Yeah, so I would tell him that we could maybe do some seller's concession. And that's something you're pretty good at helping clients with, seller's concessions. All that means is that the sellers will pay some of your closing costs. That will help you a little bit. I've also have other ways to where sometimes we can give you a little bit higher payment, but with that higher payment, you have less money out of pocket.
Right.
Sometimes you can pay for your homeowner's insurance with a credit card. So if you pay for that on a credit card, that lowers your out-of-pocket cash to close. So we have different ways. We do the best we can, and I do everything I can to help you get that home and get over that line. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really great. So it's if you don't have the money to close, that means that you it's not that you don't have a great profile. It's just that sometimes we need assistance. Everything's expensive, and so being able to alleviate some of that stress, or even if you just wanted to keep some money in your pocket to buy furniture, seller concessions is a really great alternative. I know sometimes in crunch time, sometimes you can negotiate with the title company to reduce their closing costs. And it's ways definitely you can get that money without having to bring as much to the closing table. So if you don't have it, so that's why you have Tim here, the mastermind with you to help you, and then also an experienced agent. So keyword experience.
Yes, and having a good agent can make all the difference. Because some agents don't pick up their phone, or some agents have less experience, but a real good agent will have a contractor. If
Mhm.
they need a repair or something done, they'll make a phone call and it's done.
Yeah.
It's done and mark it off. So they'll make a difference with your experience. I know some people don't look at it that way, but lenders and realtors make a difference in your home buying journey.
That's true. How long have you been in the industry?
5 or 6 years. It's just
Mhm.
time. I feel like getting old. Time keeps going by fast.
Oh, you finally got over that hump, man.
Yeah.
It takes like you don't know a business is successful until after the 5th year. So you're still in it, which
I
is
don't.
crazy
That's
if you
what they
think about
say. I
it.
don't know.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good. So, what is if you can think about all the clients you work with in your past, what would be one of the most proud success stories that you have?
Wow, it's a lot of them, but one I would think about was a client where things were going really well, and we ran into some hiccups, but we just overcame it.
Mhm.
We just got that letter, got that document over to underwriter,
Mhm.
and updated the people, and it was just don't give up. Bear with me, okay?
Mhm.
Some close easy, and some can
Mhm.
close with a few hiccups, but we
Mhm.
just keep on pushing. But the ones that really stick out was the ones that we had to overcome a few things and had a co-borrower or
Mhm.
just do different things to get it to work.
So it sounds like you have to be really creative in this industry as well.
Yeah, it's not for the weak,
Yeah.
okay? Anyone that's a
Yeah.
realtor or lender, they're strong, believe me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you like most about mortgages?
What I like most about it is at the end when I get to take a picture and shake hands at a closing table,
Mhm.
and people call me back and tell me what they did to their home. Like, hey, I put a
Mhm.
backyard fence in with my dad, or I had a barbecue. That
Mhm.
makes you real rewarding. Also, just knowing that they now have the opportunity to build equity just makes me phenomenal because it could be a huge difference between renting and buying. So if someone owns a
Mhm.
home and I was part of that, I'm honored to be a part of that,
Mhm.
helping them
Mhm.
better their financial profile. Because it's more than just a home; it's about your
Yes.
family and friends and things like that.
True, true. So you said equity. I'm sure it's viewers that don't really know what equity is, since that's one of the things that you like about mortgages.
Yeah,
Can you explain what equity is?
yeah. Equity is basically it's weird. Equity is this invisible money, the difference between what you owe and what it's worth. Think about that. What you owe and what you're worth. So if it's worth more than what you owe, we call that equity.
Mhm.
And there are a few products you can tap into that equity. You could use that to like remodel your home and things like that.
Mhm.
And then if you were ever to sell the home, you would get your equity. So um, it's a huge advantage because sometimes people that already own a home
Mhm.
sometimes are selling a home and they have a little bit more money due to equity,
Mhm.
and that allows them to put a larger down payment down or buy a bigger home and things like that. So that's why I encourage people if they can to buy so
Mhm.
they can build a little bit of equity.
Yeah, and equity is a really great tool for financial freedom too. So if you just stay in a house and you take care of the maintenance
Mhm.
properly, you keep up with the updates, you build equity. That's another way where you can retire off of that equity as well too. Like you can sell for a smaller house and just live off of it. So really keep that in mind. Like having a house, if you do everything right, it could be an asset for you in your future. So what is something I know you love mortgages because you wouldn't be in the industry still if you didn't. I know in every field there's challenges that arise. There's things that you least like about it. So what are some things about mortgages that kind of frustrate you?
Yeah, one thing that kind of trust me is you have to dot your I's and dot your T's. And sometimes I don't like some of the tedious administrative
Mhm.
work, some of the compliance, some of the continuing education. There's a lot that like goes into this that people don't realize is that you do have to pass a test and fingerprints and background check. And some of
Mhm.
the things I don't enjoy doing is like reviewing pay stubs, even though that's a very important job, making sure you have enough income to qualify. But I'm not. You got to look at it and analyze it, make sure there are no garnishes or any red flags. So that's not one of my favorite things. One of my favorite things to do is talk to people. I like to talk, get to know people, laugh, and build that relationship. But some of the administrating backhand stuff, kind of like,
Why do you don't like going over paycheck?
it's just boring. Like
Um,
I need some coffee after looking at pay
you
stubs.
need to be accurate when doing that too.
Yeah, yeah. You got to be accurate and you got to look at the deductions because let's just say they have a garnishment for anything, or let's
Mhm.
just say they have child support.
Mhm.
That opens up another layer where we got to document that, find out how much they owe,
Okay.
and see what status it is. If you miss those things, it can lower their buying power. So if I told you
Mhm.
that you're approved for a certain amount, and you go out and find a home for that certain amount, and then later on they see the garnishment
Mhm.
that I missed, then now we're kind of got to figure that out. So I try
Yeah.
to avoid that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're going over the check stubs to calculate, like, your debt to income ratio,
No, mainly the income.
the income?
Yeah, so first they want you to determine, are they paid hourly or salary?
Oh,
Because
okay.
hourly is somewhat like variable income.
Uh-huh.
And then they want you to look at the year to date and then
Oh.
divide the year to date by how many months we're in.
Uh-huh.
And then look at the W-2 and then
Uh-huh.
just make a determination, are they trending the same, upward or downward? So that's why it's tedious and I don't enjoy doing
Oh,
it.
I swear I did not know that. I thought
Yeah.
it's for your debt to income ratio, to be honest,
Oh
but
yeah, after you find that number, you
uh-huh.
plug it in, and then the
Oh,
system would do the debt to income. But you
okay.
got to get the first part right. Yeah,
Okay, okay, it's accuracy. So you gotta make sure the numbers are correct.
yeah, make it
Yeah,
correct because when you
yeah,
put it in there, they can change it later on,
that makes
and then
sense.
send you an email. And just a side note, what they do is they don't deny loans; they
Mhm.
suspend it.
Oh,
So
okay.
they hit the suspend button, you get an email, and it
Mhm.
just has a title, and it'll be like insignificant income
Uh-huh.
or something like that. And then you got to go in there
Uh-huh.
and kind of make your case to the underwriter.
I got a question. Do they count overtime?
Yes.
They do?
But overtime is variable, and they kind of want to average it over 24 months.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So
And
you just can't work 40 hours a day and be like, "Oh, I'm about to buy a house, so for the next 3 months I'm gonna just do another 10, 15 hours." You can't do that?
you can,
Uh-huh.
and you're trending upward, but they're going to look at your W-2s
Oh,
too,
okay.
and
That
your
makes
year to
sense.
date too, not just the last 6 weeks. And that's a lot of clients tell me too.
Mhm.
I don't want to give you my pay stub because I went on vacation. I get that a lot too. I'm like, no, we don't care you went on vacation.
Okay.
We're going to average everything out, look at everything,
Okay.
and figure it out. Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Oh, well, it sounds like, you have a lot of experience in this. So, what sets you apart from other lenders? Are
Oh,
you a
that's
lender or a broker?
I'm a lender,
Okay, okay.
and a broker just is a lender too, but they just have more partners.
Got you.
I don't have any partners. Everything I do is with the lender I work at, so just
Mhm.
one lender
Okay.
is where I work at. I think what sets me apart, or I hope what sets me apart, is that I am accessible.
Okay.
um, you'd be surprised. You don't know this when you pick a lender. A lot of people look at lenders as like, hey, who got the lowest rate? And that's who I'm going with.
Mhm.
But rate's important, but also important to have a lender that's available, because
Yep.
I can't tell you how many times a listing agent called me on a Sunday or a Saturday and says highest best by 6 o'clock.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And just what that means is that they're going to look at the offers and tell one buyer that they agree to sell
Mhm.
it to them. So just being available to answer that phone call and let them know that I'm going to work with them and you're qualified and you're a great buyer,
Mhm.
reassures them to say yes to you. And a lot of people don't know that, but that goes on in the background,
Mhm.
because you work with Cheri and you go out look at a home. She
Mhm.
gives them that pre-approval to the seller.
Mhm.
Now the seller may contact that lender, and if that lender doesn't pick up, then they'll go to the next offers. And people don't really realize that, because they want to make sure that lender
Mhm.
is credible, can get it done, and not
Mhm.
wasting time. So that's kind of in the back end. So I'm available, and then I'll go the extra mile. Whatever you need, I'll meet you in person to help
Mhm.
you with the application. I'll call an employer for you. I'll call the title company for you. I'll go a little over and beyond. So that what sets me apart is
Yeah.
that I'm just not a call center or kind of cookie cutter. I'm just someone that's me. It's actually Tim that's gonna be working with you. Tim's gonna be working on your loan. So I think
Yeah.
that kind of sets me apart.
I mean, that's impressive because I work with a lot of lenders, especially like banks. Like, the most activity is on weekends. So if you're not accessible and I can't reach you, especially when I'm trying to go over like, hey, we're trying to submit this offer, they're calling highest and best, how we can position this buyer to be the strongest offer, it's really frustrating, and it's kind of like a disservice for the buyers because they miss out on opportunity. So that's really great that you even with a family, you're able to still work on weekends and assist your clients. And I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
that gives you an advantage over a lot of other
yeah,
lenders.
and it's a little inconvenience, but I understand that this is your biggest purchase.
Yeah.
And if I could take 5, 10 minutes out of my day to help you,
Hmm.
I'm more than happy to do it. It is what it is.
That speaks a lot about your work ethic.
Oh,
So
thank you.
you out
Thank
here saving lives, buying people house.
Grinding.
Okay, we talked a lot about mortgages. I've learned something from you, and I've been in the industry for 5 years as well too. But I would love to learn more about you. What do you like to do when you're not working?
Oh my goodness. With my two boys, ages 4 and 1.
Hmm.
I like to cook. I don't have a lot of time to cook, but I like to,
Hmm.
cut some things.
Hmm.
I've realized that it's in the process of the prep. The more time you marinate and prep, the better.
Yeah, that's true.
I like to go for walks. I like to go to the gym a little bit. I'm like a fitness enthusiast, whatever you call it. I like to travel.
Hmm.
Just watch TV, cut my grass. I'm turning into my dad, which stay off the lawn.
Did that mean you're getting old, dude? Or what?
Maybe, but I feel young. But yeah, I am getting old, so a little bit of gardening
Yeah.
and things like that.
Yeah.
So just kind of like sports. I mean, Lions. Just a lot of different hobbies. It just depends on what I'm in the mood for.
Yeah, and I will contest it. I will agree with you. Like over the years, you slimmed down so much. So I know you've been in that gym putting in that work.
Oh, thank you.
I know it. And then
And putting down the Big Macs.
right, I didn't know you like to cook though. I did not know.
Okay.
That. Yeah, that's new. And then your sons, they're so adorable.
Oh, thank you.
What's one activity you like to do with them the most?
Man, you'd be surprised. They like to play games on the tablet.
Really?
So we be playing games,
Okay.
but the ads keep popping up, which are annoying. But yeah, they like to play games. They also like to watch me play games. So I sometimes I play a couple of games on my laptop, like strategy games. So,
wow.
but I like to watch Rachel with them
Mm-hmm.
and go in the backyard and run around with them. So yeah.
Oh man, sounds like you have a nice family.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, they
Yeah.
keep me busy.
Yeah. So
sure do.
have you found that work-life balance yet, or what?
I'm still working on it.
Uh-huh.
I've always told myself, hey, at 6 o'clock, I'm turning off the phone. At 7 o'clock, I'm turning off the phone. And then you get a call at 6:59 and you take it.
That's dedication. That's dedication, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap up here. So lastly, I want you to let a client know that's looking to purchase a home or sell a home or refinance for a home. How can they find you?
Oh, great question. So you could just Google me, Tim Tom Koviak. You also can type my phone number into Google, my Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm all over the place.
Mhm.
But the best way is just to call me. Got my
Mhm.
phone here. Just call me, and then we'll take it from there. I'll always pick up if I'm able to.
Mhm.
And may not always be able to talk, but we'll definitely put something on the calendar, and I'll get with you and then provide best customer service. And if I can't help you, I'll definitely lead you in the right direction, if that makes sense.
Better yet, what we're gonna do in the bottom of this video, we're gonna put his contact information, and not only that, it's gonna be on the screen for your number, so you
Okay.
can reach out to him and how to spell his name, because his last name is pretty long.
Yes, it's a Polish long one there. And don't worry if you pronounce it wrong.
Right. Because I don't know how to pronounce it either. But it's been fun hanging out with you all. I hope that you gained some type of insight and knowledge from this video. If you'd like to see more videos like this, be sure to come back, save, share, like, and definitely hit that subscribe button. All right, peace and love.
All right, thanks so much.